We're going to demonstrate an alcohol wash for testing bees for Varroa mites. It can also be used for tropicolaps and brawler fly as well. What we've got is just a simple shaking couple of bottles. We've made this particular device where it's got two lids with the lids cut out. It's got 3mm gaps in the screens, and we've got about 100 mils of metho in there, a cup, bit of paper, and the beehive to be tested for Varroa mites. You must take the top box off and work with the bees in the brood box. In this case, I've located the queen. I know that she's in the hive, so I'm not going to kill her. Unfortunately, this particular method for testing for Varroa is lethal to the bees, so the bees die in the process. So I've got this particular brood frame. It's got young nurse bees on it. Nurse bees are far more likely to have Varroa on them by exponential amount compared to the field bees or the bees in the top super. So I shake the bees onto a bit of newspaper. We can put that back in the hive. As the instructions say, we only need half a cup, so we can sort of half measure that or half guess it. I've got about half a cup of bees in there, about 300 bees. Probably a few more might be useful. That'll do me. Put the lid on. Now, as I said, we've already located the queen. The queen's still in the brood chamber here, so she's not in here. And we've got these bees. We're going to now wash them vigorously in alcohol or metho for about 20 seconds. So quite vigorously. That'll dislodge the mites. It'll kill the mites and dislodge the mites from the bees. Mites are very difficult to actually see on field bees or adult bees. Despite all the photographs to the contrary, you really need to do something similar to this test or the same as this test to determine whether there's any mites in the hive. So 20 seconds, the mites should be dislodged. We'll dislodge 70–80% of the mites in that particular exercise. We pour it upside down, and any mites, we can do it back and forth a bit, agitate it so there's any mites, bounce it around, and if there's any mites on those bees, they'll be floating around in this liquid now in this metho down here. We've just got one stray bee but no mites. So this particular sample indicates a zero level of Varroa. Excellent method of instantly determining whether you've got mites in the hive and how many mites you might have. We can do a second wash after that with water just to dislodge any more mites for another 20 seconds, and that'll increase the efficiency of this particular test up to say 90–95% plus. As I said, unfortunately all the bees now in this particular test are dead. Might also emphasise, given the fact that it's alcohol or metho we're using, that you keep it well away from your smoker.